Hey guys, Thomas from Team Sakurazo here, come at you guys with a ban list prediction video. And like always, I have to make a video on this because there's a lot of Yu-Gi tubers that don't know what they're talking about or just forget way too much. They're only looking at what's meta right now. They're not looking at anything else on the ban list. So I gotta come and educate the masses. It's nothing new. So before I begin this video, remember, this is my opinion. If you disagree, agree, let me know in the comments section below. I actually don't plug my ears in if people are telling me I'm wrong about something, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinion. Plus, it helps the algo. Also, speaking of that, how about you hit that like button, right? 100 likes on this video would be great. Subscribe if you've not already. Check out our sponsors, TCG Player. Use my affiliate link if you're buying anything on the site. It helps me to no additional cost to you. Whatnot, use my link for $15 on your next purchase there. They have more than just Yu-Gi-Oh! Go check it out. Check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Market News as well to make graphs of what you see on TCG Player. That way you can keep track of it. It's an awesome site. And we're going to get right into this. Thank you to my YouTube channel members. And we're going to start off with Summon Sork. So a lot of people aren't even talking about Summon Sork, which is funny. And I think the reason is because we're not getting many reveals for Stampede. And because we're not getting a lot of reveals for Stampede, people are completely forgetting. The OCG got this errata, brought back, and it's doing nothing. And the same exact thing is probably going to happen to the TCG. We have a lot of lists to fill up for Stampede. This is definitely going to be there. They're going to give us the errata text through 7 different rarities: QC, Platinum, Secret, Ultra, Super, CR, Ultimate. You guys get the point. If you could call PURs Ultimates. And then we're going to get this card. It's going to be waifu bait. People are going to want it, and it's going to sit at a comfortable $7-8 for a QC. Masterpiece. This is another card people are completely forgetting about, and we have this already confirmed actually in our next set. Masterpiece is a card that could have come off honestly a long time ago. I know some people were talking about the implications it could have had last format actually, and to that I said, well, put it to 1 and see what happens. I mean, that's just implications, and we're past that now. Konami's like, okay, we're going to give the players what they want. It's kind of like how we had Stratos banned, and they were waiting to unban Stratos to give the players, you know, some love for the game. Oh, they unbanned this card everybody loves. Same thing with Masterpiece. It's almost a meme at this point. The majority of people who want it back, I don't even think they're going to try playing it. I know that sounds cruel, but I really think that. So I think they're only going to bring it to 1, though. People say, oh, they're going to unlimit this, and they're going to unlimit everything else. Konami never, like, gives us everything at once for these decks. They see the deck do nothing. They give us back something else. They see the deck do little to nothing. They give us back something else. It's a pattern. And speaking of, they're probably going to give us a diagram to 2 or 3. I have that later on the list. Another card I want to talk about that nobody has mentioned is Nightmare Goblin. Now, Master Duel actually got this back, and this was originally banned there. They got limited, and it did not do anything. While the TCG usually follows the OCG, I want to mention this card because while I'm not extremely confident this card's going to come back, like the first 2 picks, I do want everyone to know there is a chance of this card coming back. Copies are cheap right now. I know I don't have TCG Player up, but they're like $5, you know, $5-6. That's not too bad if you really have a deck that you want to cook with and you want to make sure, hey, you have insurance, right? It's like when you go to the casino and they put an ace and they check for insurance. Yeah, this is your insurance. If you think you can cook, spend $5-6. If it doesn't get unbanned, oh well, right? If it does, with 1 printing, it's from Flames of Destruction, a set that came out early 2018. All the Nightmares came in there, Imperm, all that. We could get this card back again. I think it's probably like a 30% chance because Konami does like to test stuff on Master Duel, and they do have the statistics there. And if cards are either not doing well or doing well, sometimes they do bring them back. Again, it's just a possibility. They also have another card that they can replace it with. Yeah, we're not going in order. Nightmare Griffin. I think this card is probably going to get banned. This card, first of all, we've had issues with this card with like Runics, White Forest Runic, and all this other stuff where you would like send skill drain, flip it, and all this other crazy stuff. The thing with Nightmare Griffin, though, is that it is a one-sided floodgate, right? Those are a lot more strong than, you know, floodgates that affect both players. And the fact that you can not only bring this back, but Malice can make their full combo just like usual, but instead of, you know, having the full combo now, you have Nightmare Griffin. So they have to, they have no monster effects because, you know, it has to be linked. They have cards to out the board, but they have to draw them, right? It's a very hard board to out. And it doesn't feel fair when you put a floodgate on the board at the end of the day. And look, I play Malice and I do it, and I'm even saying it's not fair. This card has existed for a while. Nightmares are definitely some of the most broken links Konami's ever made, or strongest at least, because I don't want to call all of them broken, but they were all pretty strong at one point. Nightmare Griffin ban easily, if not, maybe in Stampede QC. But they definitely want to hit older cards that have existed for a long time rather than the more new meta cards. I don't think they're going to hit Malice or Ryziel yet, and people are going to be upset with me when I say that. Look, these cards have had a format, all right? Yes, they're very strong, but they're not going to hit them directly. Konami does not like hitting cards directly when they're too new, especially when they can reprint them and make money, all right? We saw how they handled Tier 0 formats. Tier Lament, Fire King, right? You think they're going to step in immediately to hit Ryziel and Malice off a tier, because they're both Tier 1, and you can play other decks like Blue Eyes at least, and, you know, White Forest and all that other jazz? No, they're going to ban Nightmare Griffin. So don't expect to see Ryziel Ice. Everyone thinks they're going to hit Ryziel Ice. They're wrong. Diagram, already explained it with Masterpiece. Now, I'm going to say something interesting about this card that I haven't already said. This could also be in Stampede. They might give us at least 2, you know, Dragonic cards for the deck. And I think the field spell would be really cool. If not, this card could probably go to at least 2 to 3. In fact, I'm actually shocked they never put it up to see what the deck could do without Masterpiece to test it out. This is a card that has been on the Forbidden and Limited list for a very long time. Kind of for no reason. I'm a big fan of Spring Cleaning on the ban list. Konami likes to sprinkle and give us small stuff so it looks like they're doing stuff with the game and fixing it and giving us an illusion that they're changing the game, when in reality a lot of their changes don't really amount to much in the grand scheme of things, right? And I really wish they just did spring cleaning, saw a couple cards that shouldn't be there, and give us it. IP Masquerena. Now this is up to debate. Now this is very interesting. A lot of people think that this card is going to get banned, and I've really thought about it, and this card also was in Rarity 2, and if you guys don't know, whenever we get a card in Rarity Collection, Konami does have it on its radar to hit afterwards. And Rarity 2 has had quite a bit of time to pass. Can IP be hit? The problem is IP is also an aesthetic for Konami, so they see it like, oh, it's strong, but every deck could play it. Which is kind of true. Every deck could make IP. Every deck could make an IP play to link into something, you know, good. That's the thing with IP. It really does feel that generic. It's not tied to a certain deck or a certain, you know, degenerate combo. And Konami loves this card so much that not only have they given it, you know, Starlights, QCs, and that was before the alternate got that as well, but they even made binders, sleeves. I think, can Konami ban this card? It is possible, so I did want to mention it. I am kind of 50-50 on it. I think that this card is just, they have a lot of other things they want to address, so they might not look at this card. But it is possible it's banned. I'm very torn on it. That's why I kind of want to ask you guys in the comment section below, do you think IP is ban worthy, and do you think Konami will ban it? All right, those are two separate questions, okay? They're not the exact same question. Personally, I think it's ban worthy, but I don't think Konami is going to ban it, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did. I mean, this deck has seen so much extra deck play for so many years, though, it's not even funny. But yeah, that's what I love about having a community. You guys are actually a lot more smarter than I think a lot of other Yu-Gi tubers communities, and I know that sounds really harsh, and I'm not saying every Yu-Gi tuber has like a dumb community, but like sometimes I just shake my head at some stuff, and it's like, okay, you've made a career out of this, you gotta learn a little bit about how Konami operates at some point. Right? That's just my opinion, right? And that's not just the Yu-Gi tubers, that's the players, content creators, vendors, anyone in the Yu-Gi-Oh space that takes it somewhat seriously. That's just my opinion. Abyss Dweller. Now, I actually do see this card getting banned, because every time that we need this card comes up and people say we need to ban it, while it's for the same reason of shutting off the graveyard, it's in a completely different way than the format before, right? People were saying how this should be banned during Tier Limit format, for example, for a while. Then people said, oh, during Snake Eyes format, yo, we gotta ban this card. Now they're saying it again in this format for completely different reasons. Abyss Dweller is a very good floodgate, and it's not that difficult to make because the water is optional. It just means that if you make it with a water, your level 4 normal's not going to beat over it. And the thing with Ryziel making it is not only is it easy to make rank 4s with them, but they have access to the water. And you guys might be like, okay, now you're getting into semantics with it. No, being able to use ice to make a dweller 2200 instead of 17 will determine if your opponent scoops their deck up or not. Because there are hands that can beat over a $1,700 dweller, and there are hands that cannot beat over a $2,200. That's just how it is. So the card is a little bit stronger in Ryziel, not just because of the accessibility of the floodgate, but the fact that you're able to kind of protect it from being beat over as easily. I know people think this is a smaller effect with the 500 attack, but it's really not. Dweller, I think at this point needs to go. The card's existed for over 10 years in the game. We've had a lot of times where this card was strong, broken, very good, almost ban-worthy. It's kind of been everywhere. If they want to take it off, especially right now with how accessible it is to Ryziel, which is considered the best deck of the format. A lot of people consider it better than Malice. I don't really know many people who would not consider Ryziel number 1. And like I said, they're not going to hit Ryziel, all right? They're going to hit it indirectly, which I'm going to actually talk about another card that they're going to use to hit Ryziel. That's not the actual names. But Abyss Dweller not only hits Ryziel well, it does, because having Dweller or not having Dweller are two, I'm not going to say two different versions of Ryziel, but one is obviously inherently much stronger because there's no reason to never have Dweller in the extra deck. And it also helps players because they wanted this banned anyway. No joke. After Malice and Ryziel are gone, there's going to be another format where people are calling for Abyss Dweller to be banned if it's not banned. Definitely needs to be there. Bonfire. This card, again, I'm going to get over this very quickly. We've had Snake Eyes for a long time. Bonfire was a very meta-relevant card. We've also had it now in Ryziel because it's just a free search for one of their Pyros. We also have it with stuff that uses, you know, Diet Bellstar, right? There's other stuff I'm probably forgetting about Bonfire, but this card is a searcher, limited. We got Road at 1. I think stuff like Tenki should be at 1. I think Tenki's at 3 right now. But, you know, these search cards are as good as how good those archetypes are in the meta. Obviously, Bonfire could probably come back one day, possibly, but I think a limit would be great right now. High King Caesar. A lot of people are talking about this card, and a lot of people are saying we should ban Necroquip, and then some people want to ban High King Caesar. Necroquip is, yeah, it's good, but I think Necroquip isn't as degenerate as something like High King Caesar. But it's also the fact that it takes 2 level 6 Fiend monsters. So after Fiend Smith is gone, it's not like you can really generically use King Caesar for a while. This is a card that I can see Konami banning temporarily, and eventually down the line we get it back to hit Fiend Smith. And a lot of people are telling me, hey, do you not think they're going to hit Fiend Smith? Which I'm actually going to talk about Fiend Smith right now. Like I said, there's no big order into this list. Because there's a lot I want to kind of talk about and kind of combine, because I don't want to talk about the same deck 4 separate times in a video. That's just mundane, and this video is already 13 minutes, but I like giving you guys a lot of options, a lot of things Konami's thinking about, and a lot of things to consider. So if you do enjoy this video, smash that like button, check out our sponsors, check out our Discord. We have a whole ban list discussion forum. It's awesome, and let me know in the comment section below what you think, as well as hitting that like button. So King Caesar, a lot of people, again, are torn about this. Banning this does hurt. It really does. And this is taken, I guess this card is taken away from it. But it's also the fact that it is a double negate for specialing. The card is very, very strong, but you can deal with it with Fenrir, Ultimate Slayer, XYZ Encore, Droplet, Imperm. That's just the 5 off the top of my head. I'm not going to count Ogre because you have to use then another card and Ogre to get rid of this. So this card effectively does its job if it gets Ogred. So I don't think Ogre is a way to deal with this. I mean, it's a way to lose faster, sure, but and they're not going to make much money off this unless it becomes a QC and Stampede. If we see obviously a QC and Stampede, I'm wrong. But yeah, as of 3/19, that information isn't seen. Fiend Smith, I'm going to say this one time. Konami does not like hitting cards they haven't reprinted to not make money. I mean, they didn't do it during tier 0 formats. You think they're going to, even though Fiend Smith is a tier 0 engine, I would consider it. Because when I look at top 32, I would say there's a good chance 65% plus are playing a Fiend Smith engine of some kind. can this engine get hit? I think they're probably, while they have already banned a card, I think they're actually going to reprint this first and then hit the engine. That's personally what I think. I get why people are sick and tired of seeing Fiend Smith. I get it. People are talking about engraver hit limit and track limit. I think it's possible, but most likely Konami wants to make a ton more money. I think if anything, they might also ban Fable Lurie. Is this the solution? Yeah, it's going to hurt them, but I don't necessarily think it's the solution. But we also have Fabled support coming still. I know a lot of people actually don't know about that. So banning a Fabled card to deal with Fiend Smith so they could sell Fiend Smith while also trying to sell Fabled. Granted, I don't think everyone's sitting here, you know, being like, oh my gosh, Fabled. Except for me, actually. I love Fable. Fabled's amazing. The artwork looks cool, all that. I'm a big fan of Fabled, boys. So I kind of hope they don't ban this card, but it is possible. I think it's kind of like roulette, I would probably say, on how they're going to indirectly maybe hit Fiend Smith. They might unfortunately just let it go again, which I know a lot of players don't like hearing that, but that's also a possibility. But there's a possibility that they ban Lurie. There's a possibility that they leave it alone. There's a possibility that they hit King Caesar. So those are kind of the options here. I just don't think they're going to hit it directly. Borderload Savage. This card was banned alongside Baron. I think this card is actually going to come back and be limited. A lot of people are also speculating it. I've told people this is a very good card to get the QC of, and the QC is actually getting bought out. It's like 13 bucks, almost basically going up to 25. I talked about this when it was $5, so if you watch my market watches and you got this card, good job. This card can come back. We have the Dragon stuff coming out. We also have Dragon Maid, which, you know, Konami sees Dragon and Dragon. They combine it all. I don't think the new Dragon Maid support, I don't know if they use Savage or not, but there are decks like Dragon Link that do. And this is definitely a card that can come back a lot easier than something like Baron, because this card, you know, is usually a Dragon Link monster. It's not seen in every deck like Baron. So Savage to 1 can easily happen. Totally awesome. Now, a lot of people are talking about Mermail hits. Especially some YouTubers like MST.TV. They're like, yeah, we're going to see quite a few Mermail hits. And I'm going to be honest with you here. That deck, maybe, it's never gotten 3 places in top 32 at the same event. Max 2. Usually it's in the top 32. One person's playing it. They're not in top 8. They're usually not in top 16. They're in top 32. And usually it's also a pilot thing. People are saying, oh, they're going to ban Moonling Glacier. Okay, well, almost half the list, if not over half the list, have cut Moonling Glacier. So you're going to ban a card that half the Mermail players don't want to play. Okay, cool. But it's a hand rep card. Konami doesn't like those. Is it possible? Yeah, it's not impossible. But Are they going to hit Atlantean Dragoons? You're out of your mind. That would be, no. They're not going to hit Atlantean Dragoons. Mermail isn't that worthy of a deck to hit. If they do hit something eventually that is pertaining Mermail, it's going to be totally awesome. This is a card that, and this is where my bias comes, I think this is one of the strongest XYZs that we've got in recent years. Especially during the era that we got it. The fact that this card can be cheated out with Bahamut Shark especially is wild. Now, this card can be banned or limited. Because, believe it or not, this is one of those extra deck cards where a lot of them don't fit in this category, right? Like, you know, Apollosa. You can't limit Apollosa. No one's going to play 2, right? For example, where limiting it does hurt the card. So you don't necessarily have to ban it, because decks like Mermail and other decks that could cheat it out can make multiple, right? Meow Meow is another card that could come off the list. I don't think Konami really wants to touch that deck too much. They don't want to bring it back. I don't know why. Meow Meow could have came back ages ago and it just never did. But that deck also can cheat out totally awesome quite easily. And not really cheat out. They could just make it manually, actually. But this card's insane, not only because it's of it being an Omni Negate, but the fact that you get that card to your field, and then you can target a water monster or graveyard at your hand. Very, very strong card in general as an Omni Negate. I could see it banned or limited. I think that's all they would do to touch Mermail. But this is a card that is a big problem, in my opinion, outside of Mermail, right? That's just how I see it personally. Dimension Shifter, a lot of people don't think it's going to get banned this time around. I'm telling you this. Konami understands that people hate Shifter. Some people at Konami might think, and players too, think it's a necessary evil. Shifter, especially with how Malice is running, and they might want to indirectly hit Malice. Guess what they might hit? Yeah. Yeah, your boy Shifter, right? This card's been... I mean, we're out of Snake Eyes format as well. So if you want to call it a necessary evil against Snake Eyes, fine. But now, it's not a necessary evil, right? I think that this card can get banned now. They might do it, they might not do it. The only problem I have with this, and a lot of people might think that this is kind of a... not to be around a bush, but kind of a bullshit excuse, is sometimes I think Konami knows they want the players hate a card, but they think it's good to have. And once they made up their mind, they're just not going to hit the card. It's happened so many times. And I think Shifter might be one of those cards, unironically. And it just doesn't get banned because Konami doesn't feel like it. And I know a lot of people are probably watching the video like, so you're telling me that we're not going to ban Shifter because Konami doesn't feel like it. There's so many good times to ban Shifter, and then time and time again, they have not touched this card. It's not that I don't think this card should be banned. It's the fact that if it didn't get banned the other times, I don't have confidence much in this time. As weird as this might be, it's kind of like having a friend. Okay, this is the best way to explain it, right? It's like having a friend, and he is, you know, with this girl, and the girl cheats on him. All right, multiple times. And she's cheated 2 or 3 times, and he says he's gonna leave her. Maybe he does leave her, but then maybe they get back together. Maybe they're sexual first and then get back together, or something, right? And we all sadly know a guy like that, right? The first time you're like, you know what? Maybe they want to reconcile it. Maybe they, you know, it was a mistake, right? Whatever, right? Sure. Second time you're like, wow, that's crazy. And then he gets back with her the second time. And then eventually you're like, yeah, he says he's going to break up with her. He says he's done with her. They've broken up. He's done. But look at the other times. And that's kind of how I see Shifter, right? Look at the other times that this card was supposed to be banned. That's how I describe Shifter, all right? If you guys think that's an excuse, completely, I get it. Wind Up Carrier. Look, I always talk about this card as a wish list card. This card has been on the list for a long time. A lot of people say, please ban Hunter, and this card could come back. Nobody's going to play this. I don't care if you put Hunter, this to 3 and Hunter to 3. How consistent is this? Who's really going to play this at an event? That's my actual question. If you want to ban Hunter, go for it. If you want to errata Hunter, go for it. Like, I just think that this card could come back, and while this may not be a good reason why I think this card could come off this list, there might be a few images right over here. We've seen some cards like Wind Up Rat actually getting bought out. It has 15 listings roughly right now, and a lot of them are in very bad condition. That's not good. Wind Up Factory Supers are very low on listings. Wind Up Rabbits shut up to the moon. We've been seeing a lot of wind up movement this list, so maybe that's just hype, or maybe someone knows something. You never really know. So I think, you know, maybe we get Carrier back. That's their fun little card they give back. Glow Up Bulb, the OCG's had this for a long time. I'm gonna try and make this video less than 30 minutes. Sorry guys, but I like to go into depth with these things. Hopefully you enjoy it though enough to hit the like and all that stuff. Subscribe, and please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love getting constructive feedback, and I've had in my videos be like, or even my ban list where I'm like, hey, you know, someone actually disagreed with me and said this. I guess they were right? Like, it's Konami, right? We're trying to figure out the puzzle that Konami is together, okay? If I was so sure about what Konami would do, I'd be rich. Glow Up Bulb, OCG came back with it a long time ago. We are eventually going to get this card. We just got Bonanza reprinting multiple, Plat and QC. We should be getting this list now that we have the copies more in circulation. Bystials. I really think Konami wants to reprint these in Stampede before hitting them. I think the Bystials have one more list, most likely. That is just my opinion. They have one more list, most likely. But again, I'm like 75 to 85% sure. If they do hit something, a lot of people are saying, oh, they're going to ban and limit. Don't think they're going to go that severe, because they are going to reprint these, and they're going to want to make money. They're not banning a Bystial, but if they are, they're not limiting and banning, all right? I think if we see a Bystial hit, it's going to be 1. It's not going to be 2, because a lot of people are saying Druid Swarm 1, Magna Hut ban. Both of those on the same list are not going to happen. Druid Swarm limit could happen, this list. They could give us a hit and then still reprint it. These cards are still good if they're limited. If we have 1 Magna Hut, 1 Druid Swarm, yeah, I guess people are going to be playing Saronir a little bit more, right? Baldrake is going to go from mixed to definitely a 1-of just for the name. Absolutely, right? But I think, again, we have one more list for Bystials. That's just my opinion. Agree or disagree in the comment section below. Gateway, we've gotten 6 SAM support, I think, twice, and they've never done anything with the balance for 6 SAMs. I want to see what Gateway 2 could do. If it breaks the deck, it breaks the deck. However, I'm going to be honest with you. This deck has multiple FTKs as of right now, right? And even the new support that came out of Rage has I think two FTKs actually, or an OTK and an FTK. The FTK I saw for sure is insane. So if they really don't want to do anything with 6 SAMs, I kind of understand because Konami hates FTKs. That's the one thing they usually put their foot down on, is FTKs and usually some type of hand loop card. That is the only two things I am sure about Konami, besides them being scummy. But, you know, we call them Co-Money for a reason. Naturian Sacred Tree. I think this was a stupid limit when it happened, and it was still shouldn't be on the list. Bring it back. Spring cleaning. Nobody cares. Not even going to address Sacred Tree. Monster Reborn. I think this card could go 2. Nobody's played this card in years. Just give it to 2. If it does something, sure. If it's at 3, right? And by the way, nobody's even playing Monster Reborn as a thrust target. So I don't want to hear that this is good. If it's at 2 to 3 or possibly 3, and players actually want to experiment with it at 3, hey, I think that's fun. And if it turns out to be crazy, you could just limit it again. Monster Reborn is a card that a lot of people don't think of going back to 3, and I was looking at the list, and I'm like, you know what? This card does, I think, weirdly enough, this card doesn't need to be on the list. Like, I remember someone saying a few months back about how someone was getting made fun of because they decided to play Monster Reborn. And I was like, this card's not bad. It's also either player's graveyard. Like, Monster Reborn's not a bad card, y'all. No one's convincing me that, alright? Nobody. And yeah, that is it for my ban list predictions. So, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video as well. And join our Discord, as well as consider being a YouTube channel member. If you think I'm entertaining, if you want to support the channel, hey, the channel member goal is 25 to 35 members. I believe we have 21 members right now. So the goal for this year, again, is probably in the middle 30 here. So if you guys want to consider being a channel member, hey, I love and appreciate you a lot. It helps me, you know, get more stuff for the channel, like this beautiful 60 FPS webcam. That's thanks to you guys. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.